All right, folks, here's the winter project, 2025, 2026. Picked up this bike for a super deal a couple of days ago. Kind of threw out an ad on Marketplace looking for a winter project, and this person said, I think I got what you need. So it's a Yamaha, 1980 Yamaha 400 Special. I mean, it looks in such great shape. Look at that seat, beauty. I don't think that's the original seat, but no, I don't care. It looks awesome. Carburetor came in a bag. So that's going to need a rebuilt kit. So I got that coming. A couple other things. I'm going to tackle this tank today. This is all kind of beat up. Well, I guess it's 40 years old or whatever. Needs a battery, 23,000 kilometers. So yeah, so a few things I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna clean that tank up, carb, change the oil. That's probably haven't been changed in a long time. You can change out these control things. I mean, they still work, but they're pretty cheap. So I'm just gonna get those and replace this. I'm gonna have a look at these brakes. These are pretty common for this thing. This might need to be rebuilt. It's a little weepy right there, so it's probably a brake. I think the headlight doesn't work, so something 1980. A little hard to find something, but yeah. So I'll just do the basic maintenance on these things. Oh yeah, I'm gonna change these handlebars. These are those kind of cruiser handlebars. I don't like those, so I'm just gonna do kind of those Longhorn ones. And yeah, that's all the stuff I'm going to do this winter. A little bit piece by piece. Apparently this bike was kind of stored inside for years and years here in Whitehorse. And not used for a long time. That's the story anyway. And honestly, I think I believe him. I've been kind of digging around here, and this bike has not been stored outside. This has been inside. I don't know if this is the original rubber on this bike. I'm gonna take these tires off, check out the brakes. It might be, I don't know, but yeah, this bike has never been stored outside. There's no sign of any kind of weather issues with it, so yeah, so that'll be good. I think this tank, apparently it was stored at a store, and people used to like getting on it, just as like a display item. It's probably just people just banging up against it, but it looks pretty good. Anyway, see how it goes. All right, got the tank off. Took off all the trim, took off that, got all the gas out. Found the gas filter inside, so that took about an hour to pop out. As you can see, it's all dented up here, but I did find a decent dent right here. So I'm gonna try this little handy dandy thing that I got. Timu, see if I can pull that out. All right, got the primer on. Actually looks friggin' awesome, just with the primer. So I did the side pieces too. Took those off. I'll clean those up a little bit, but yeah, looks much better already. I think I'll do a little tomorrow. I'll do a little wet sanding. Get those to see a little bit bumpy around here. Just feel it. But yeah, looks awesome. Next up on the bike is this. So we're waiting for the tank to dry and the badges to come in. So I'm going to tackle this fuse box. So this fuse box is, I don't have a battery, as you can tell, but I hooked it up to my power pack, and lights were flickering. And then I kind of, just play with this a little bit, and you can see we got some of these contact points are actually broken off, and this thing is 45 years old. So that needs to go, and I'm gonna replace it with this. Yeah, just upgrade the blade fuses. It's definitely higher than that one, so I'm gonna have to, there's a little bit of room under here, as you can see, so I can probably sink it down there a little bit. So that's the replacement. So we'll see how it goes. There's the end result. Fit in there, tied it to the existing bolt, and I got so many fuses are wrong. I gotta change those up. So yeah, so I hooked it up to the power pack. Everything's going good here. Just for anyone who, first when I hooked it up, there was no signals working. And I was wondering, so anyway, it was one of the bulbs were out. So that I changed the bulb and they're working. So I was gonna get into the relay, but turns out don't have to. So yeah, that's the switch of that. Next up is this carb. So I completely disassembled it. Well, actually it came in a bag. So it was somebody had already disassembled it. So I kind of cleaned it up as best I could. So I got a new kit over here. Probably give it just a little bit more cleaning. Put some air through some of these holes. It looks pretty good, except right here, you see there's a little gouge. So this carb was hit with something. So I'm hoping that when the float bowl sits on this, it'll be fine. If not, I'll whack something to her to kind of clog that up. Never actually built a carb before, so but it's there's a couple of decent videos on YouTube, so see how it goes. And the carb is rebuilt, so we'll see how this goes. I'll fix that a little bit. Yeah, I went with different kinds of air filters. It came with this thing, but I decided to go with something different because this bike was designed where this used to go into the crankcase. So a lot of the problems with these bikes is there was a fuel backup. It would all just run right back into the crankcase. So I'm going to change that with this and put that on there. So yeah, hopefully I didn't screw this up. And she's all installed, all set up. Chokes working. That almost looks like it was made for this bike. Fit in there perfectly. So that's that crankcase breather I was saying that was fuel, big problem. Fuel was going into the crankcase. So I got these set up. So yeah, we shall see at some point if this thing is going to work or not. I've had just about enough with this original petcock that came with this bike. So yeah, I've been fighting it. I was fighting it up here. And then I got that figured out, and then I was fighting it down here. So I was gonna get a rebuild kit, but then after my Google research, people were like, don't waste your time, just go get a manual one and you'll be just fine. So anyway, I'm gonna take off the vacuum one. I'm gonna plug that vacuum line and I put on the manual one. And yeah, it's annoying that you gotta turn your fuel on and off, but you know, instead of wasting time with this was spitting fuel all over the engine. I mean, that's just a catastrophe waiting to happen. So I'm gonna switch it out. So just a few things I've done, little things before I actually try to start this thing. Just putting some oil in it. Use the stuff here, a couple of quarts of that. It's supposed to take a little bit more than 2. Did the oil change down here. That's where you get out your filter. Be careful, there's a spring in there. I found out about that. So I took that off. And then under here, there's a plate. Took that plate off, and that's where your screen is. I don't know how long that oil was in here for. So I probably could have been in there for 20 years, who knows? But I decided to take it all out. Check that screen. Screen was clear, which is awesome. Changed the plugs. So she got new plugs. Put a new battery in here. A little smaller than I thought, but I made her fit. Of course, I had to wire it up because it was reversed, so it's a bit messy, but cleaned it up at some point. So yeah, we'll try to start her up. I'm into the front brake tonight, so took it off. All these seals down here, they were all bad. So I'm gonna do a rebuild of this thing. The brake pads were terrible too. I just took the screws off of this thing. Look at this. Oh, it looks terrible. Anyway, I don't know if that's salvageable or not, but I'm gonna work on that. Brake all back on. Looking pretty good. very much pain in the ass to bleed this thing, so have some patience. Honestly, I just ended up putting a tube on that, sucked the air out with my mouth. Didn't get any in my mouth, of course, but I was able to get them on. So I've got new pads, and yeah, it's working pretty good. So now it's time for the rear. So there's a few bolts to get this thing off, and this one sticks. So I picked up some new pads, and yeah, put them on. Back brake is all put together. Look pretty good. All new springs. That's how it's supposed to look. I took this thing out here too. That was pretty seized up, so took it out, cleaned it up, put some grease back on it. This is the old one. You can see why it was sticking. This pad had come off. There's no pad there, so it was just kind of hanging. So yeah, they're pretty beat up. Anyway, put it all back together. Wheels all back on. Pretty straightforward. Bolts, get the chain straight, brand new brakes. All right, guys, don't be an idiot like me. This is the tack, as you can see on my 400. As I saw a lot of you guys, this screw was out and it was down around the bottom. Tack worked just fine. Anyway, I thought it was a good idea to take it apart to try to fix the screw. Completely spoiled it. Broke the glass. All kinds of stuff shaking around in there. So that was stupid. Completely ruined the tack just to fix the screw. So anyway, I went on eBay. Cost me $100. I mean, pissed me off, something fierce, but got one exactly the same. So says it works. So I'm gonna put this one in. So don't do it. Next up is this light. I had to take it out in order to put my broken tack in. So I got my broken tack in. Super happy about that. Last video I broke it. Trying to fix it. Anyway, this light has low beam, scrappy low beam. Also has no high beam. So while it's out, I'm gonna tackle it. I saw some videos where they, you know, it's a weird bulb. It's like 6 3/4 inches, something like that. So you just can't buy it anymore. I'd have to replace that bucket. So it's awesome people where they took that out, they replaced it with another H4 connector bulb. So I'm gonna try to do that and see how it goes. So I just want to show you how this is going. These little tabs, they were pushed down on this and they kind of look like they're soldered or welded under, and it turns out they're not. They actually turn back pretty easy. Just use typical flathead for that. So I'm hoping now I can just be able to kind of twist this. It's a little loose, just kind of twist it out. And then I'll put a bulb, Canadian Tire bulb, $10 in there. And problem would be solved. But anyway, let's see how that goes. Came right out. I just kind of pull it out and it broke the bulb, which is fine, I don't care about that. And it just popped right out. So yeah, this is working out pretty good. So I just want to do step by step with this because I see a lot of people trying to figure this out about these lights because they don't want to spend much money. This is like $10 or whatever. So anyway, next step should just fit in there and these should close on it. Yeah. And see how that goes. So yeah, I'll go pick up my light. This is the result. Fits in there perfect. I already tried it before I put it in here, but I had to trim. I used a Dremel, took off a piece, just kind of went around, made it fit in that hole, pushed the tabs back in, and here's what it was. The cheapest Canadian Tire bulb you can get, 9003. That's the one that fits on that connector. Got myself a light, $10. She's a working light. Hobby, Globey. All right, down to the last thing for this bike. We've been working on it all winter. We got it all done, and one last thing I didn't like about this bike is these kind of cruiser and antler handlebars that came with it. So I'm gonna change those out. I was gonna change out all these different controls, but they actually work fine. And I was able to find the sticker kit, which was pretty cool. So I'm gonna swap out these bars for this. So that should be much straighter across. Hey folks, just changing the handlebars here, and I just want to pass on something that I found because I imagine some people has gotten stuck on this before. Pretty straightforward. Change the handlebars, starting to look really good. I'm gonna get some grips. I just cut the old ones off because they were such a pain to get off, and get some nice new ones. Anyway, put it all back together, and then my starter wouldn't work. Starter right here, and you know, I was about to do a deep dive into that, trying to figure out what was going on, and I noticed this piece of metal. I was like, why is there a piece of metal right there? And then I realized it grounds out on the handlebars, and it wasn't grounding out on the handlebars because of the powder coat. So I just, you know, I took down the powder coat just with some sandpaper, and it's grounding out really fine. So I just want to pass that on because that would probably lead into a lot of people trying to figure out what's going on, and it's really just the powder coat is stopping it from grounding out. That's just how they got that set up. Either it's this switch or the starter switch, maybe both grounds out. But anyway, there she is. She's all done. Just finished the handlebars, new mirrors, new grips. So these look pretty good. Couldn't get the old ones off, and they were pretty beat up. So I just kind of chopped them off. So yeah, this project for the winter project is all done. She's good to go. And I'm gonna keep this one. I'm not gonna sell it. Just see how she goes. She's pretty much stock. The things that are different is I changed the fuse box. Of course, I changed handlebars. And I did some rejigging here with these air filters. I did the air filter thing, and then the awesome people who sold me this bike, they showed up a few days later with the actual earpiece for them. So I didn't put that back in. I don't know how that's going to go. I saw some people saying that the carb doesn't like these, so we'll see how it goes. And of course, this down here, this air filter for the crankcase, change that. But other than that, I think she looks pretty good. Tank's all redone. She has 23,000 on her, so I think there's lots to go in her yet. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.